Hello, welcome back. This is episode 3. Last episode we just wrapped up our launches over to the grassland. And we launched up to the upper atmosphere and gathered science there. We're about 3 bits of science short. I could probably get that out if I wanted to make a long journey from the launch pad over to the VAB to get an EAB there. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a vessel that will get me over to the highlands, which are over in the distance here. And if I can land over there, then I can get science from that. And then I can launch up out of the atmosphere and get science there as well. So this is just going to be a pretty simple build. A lot of people like to take their solid boosters and stack them, sort of like this, and create stages that way. Well, I don't like to do that. I like to keep my center of gravity or center of mass as low as possible, and keep my length relatively short. This way, I have better turning and maneuverability when I'm trying to go to wherever it is. So I'm going to put 2 boosters on either side here, and this the first booster, the core booster, is already tuned and ready to go for just that capsule. And then we're going to go again here and realize that we have about 122 kilonewtons of weight, and these two combined gives us, I think, about 400 kilonewtons of thrust. So, this is a little more than a quarter. So again, I'm just going to keep it about 35-ish, and we should be good to go there. Now, another key is to make this as easy as possible. The way this orientates is this booster points north, this booster points south, the back of the capsule is pointing east and west. I know that I have to go approximately north-northwest, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to orientate this just so that all I have to do is tilt back and it'll head sort of in the right direction. That should be good right there. So I'm going to save this. I'm going to check to see if there's a difference in experience. No, not yet. We haven't actually orbited yet, so I don't think anyone's going to get that extra experience. And we're going to make sure our staging is correct here. And it is, and we are going to launch. So the whole idea here is that I pre-orientated my my vessel to head almost towards the highlands. It's sort of aiming there. I was hoping it would aim more in this direction, but I should have turned it a little more. But anyway, this will allow it, so all I have to do is sort of tilt nose down, and it'll fly where I want it to go. I don't have to worry about turning and rotating. Alright, so we're ready to go. SAS on, resource management. I'm going to launch off here, and once I get stabilized, I'll probably fast forward and maybe go off recording and just come back to when I'm on my descent down. But here we go in 3, 2, 1. Ooh, that had a little bit of a bad takeoff, maybe a glitch where one of the parts may have stuck to the launch pad. I gotta start heading north-northwest. And there we go. So, unlike the last mission where I was sort of able to just tilt down quickly, I have to get a little height here to make that trajectory work. And you can monitor the trajectory over in this screen. See, this is where I'm aiming, right in this area, in that little dark, cloudy area. And we're trying to get this trajectory to turn itself around over there. And I'm already tilted a little too far here. That's unfortunate. Maybe once I decouple these away, I may be able to tilt up a little bit. But as of now, the atmosphere is pushing my nose down, and that's not good. I do have a lot of thrust, a lot of delta V to get me over there. Yeah. Alright, so Yeah, my nose is still going down. That's unfortunate, but we might be able to just missile our way in there. You can see we're going really fast right now, way too fast for the parachute. I'm gonna decouple away and hopefully I can land right on the edge of the highlands. This might be a wasted mission, but that is not a problem for me right now. Alright. Check to see if we made it in. We're still over the grasslands. That's too bad. The highlands are right there too. We almost made it. Check one more time, see if we made it. Nope. Alright, so I'm gonna just recover this vessel and I'll launch another one off camera and we'll be a little more successful this time. I won't tilt so hard. Alright, so I'll be right back post a successful mission. Alright, I just had to come back in mid-mission here. I have a much better angle of trajectory. My nose hasn't dropped so much. And if we were to look over here, the trajectory is already almost adjusted itself. And we decouple those away and let this this booster finish our turn towards the highlands. See, our trajectory is still going to plant us right in the grasslands over here. I need to swing this more north, or actually more south, or west, I mean, to try to change this trajectory up a little bit. Perfect, and I am going to decouple away. And I'm just going to let nature take its course for the rest of this trip. I'm going slow enough, and I am now over that I am just going to deploy my parachute. So it'll help slow me down and I won't overshoot my target. But as it's looking, I'm going to land perfectly in this little valley right here. And yeah, this descent is going to be pretty much, it's going to be a straightforward descent. I'll just land and collect science, and then I will see you guys back on that main screen where we can go into the R&D center and unlock some nodes, or you might see me on the launch pad. Actually, yeah, you'll see me on the launch pad where we'll get ready to launch the same vessel, except we're going to leave the atmosphere and get some more science. Alright, so I'll see you guys in a little bit. Alright, so here we are, 57 science now. That'll allow me to unlock a couple of those 45 bit nodes, but right now I'm more concerned with trying to get out of the atmosphere, get a little more science. Maybe I'll be able to unlock 2 of them. So in order to do that, I'm going to have to get this re-established at its original orientation. And that looks about good. And I'm going to launch this one. Let's have Valentina go on this one. I've had Jebediah going a few times here. And we'll put Valentina up in outer space. We do have our heat shield, and that'll assist us and keep us safe on our descent back into the atmosphere. Alright. So we're going to launch, and this is going to take us, we're going to pretty much follow a straight up launch until we get to about 20,000. I'll start turning. I don't really care about getting to orbit, but we'll see how our speed looks. Alright, so we're going to launch 3, 2, 1. We have a good takeoff, no fetching up like last time. I'm going to give a slight turn, that way we can, in case anything does go wrong, we won't come straight back down on the launch pad, and that'll just cost a lot of money to repair. Alright. I'm going to fast forward here, and we'll get going. So yeah, when you, ×2 is usually safe. When you get to ×3 and ×4, the aerodynamic effects tend to not scale properly, and that results in your vessel maybe turning or flipping. Alright, I'm going to throttle back on the time warp here and take a look at my trajectory. Our trajectory's looking pretty darn good. I'm just going to turn about 15 degrees. That way we can just shoot really far out into the water and we don't have to worry about any issues. We were well over 20 kilometers. I'm going to really turn. And looks like, yeah, we're definitely going to escape the atmosphere. So I'm really going to turn here and get some horizontal speed. It'll make the descent and insertion back into the atmosphere much more safe because we can use our heat shield as a lifting surface and sort of glide in rather than just plummeting straight in. There we go. Alright, so I'll decouple that once I get back into the atmosphere and ready to orientate myself that way. But here we go. We're getting ready to leave the atmosphere while I pin these science modules for easier use. Alright, we're at 60 kilometers. It's looking good. I'm going to fast forward for the rest of the trip. And we are now in space. Perfect. So we have left the atmosphere. We've accomplished that contract. And we still have one more contract left, which is orbit. But we also have a space if we need to do any other side contracts for money issues or whatever. Alright, I can't EVA yet. I'll EVA when I go to orbit. The goal here is to now upgrade the astronaut complex so that we can EVA. But yeah, we're there. So I'm just going to fast forward through until I hit the atmosphere. And I'm going to orientate myself north-south, then swing back around so that I'm orientated for insertion. I like to go about 10 to 15, maybe 20 degrees. I don't need to do 20 here because it's not highly angled. But I like to do 10 to 15 degrees above the surface retrograde marker. That way, because as you fall to the Earth, the retrograde marker will come to your nose, and then it should line up perfectly for you to release SAS, and the atmosphere will take control of the orientation of your craft. And here we go, descending in. Haven't got any heat, didn't get any heat meters. We're about 10,000, and again I'm going to deploy my parachute at about 2 kilometers, and then we'll come to a slowdown, a braking at about 300 meters, and we will be safe to splash down. Releasing parachute. Alright, we are safe to splash down as the sun is setting. I wouldn't say the sun's setting, I guess. Maybe we're setting away from the sun here because we were moving away from it. And a nice little backdrop as we splash down. Perfect. Alright, so I'm going to recover that vessel and it'll send us back to KSC. Now, we definitely got a big science boost on that one. 116 science. That works out great. That allows us to unlock 2 of those 45 science nodes. And we still have room to, and still have enough points to unlock general rocketry. So we can't unlock any of these, but we can unlock these 2 science nodes, which will be very helpful. And then we can unlock general rocketry, which will give us a bigger booster and very much help us later on. So now we can start thinking about satellites and computer-controlled flight. And that's probably going to be my goal for the next few episodes, is sending a satellite to orbit rather than a Kerbal, because it's easy to screw up and strand a Kerbal in orbit, and like I said, they are very expensive. So I'll probably do some automated flights to get them into orbit, to get a satellite into orbit, before I start trying to go to orbit with a Kerbal and EVA, etc., etc. But definitely next episode I'm going to work on this science cart using these parts to go around and just collect more science so I can try to unlock maybe one of these 90-bit nodes, or I can unlock advanced rocketry, which would give me this Terrier liquid fuel engine, which is hugely beneficial. It's one of the most effective and useful engines in the game, in my opinion. But yeah, that's it for this episode, and I will see you guys again. Thank you.